nightmares in my head, I fear that the thoughts build up until I can't hear, that my mind fills up into a creature, and it haunts me somewhere much deeper.
Anxiety, filling up every space, no privacy. And silently, it could build and build until you finally see, whoa, it's taking over, damn no closure, moving closer. No exposure, I just wanna be a loner. Some can't stay sober, looking over all their shoulders, like moving boulders just to get out of the home. It sucks, I've had enough, I don't wanna feel the stuck under the rug, all my problems that I shove.
I got nightmares in my head, I fear that the thoughts build up until I can't hear, that my mind fills up into a creature, and it haunts me somewhere much deeper. I got nightmares in my head, I fear that the thoughts build up until I can't hear, that my mind fills up into a creature, and it haunts me somewhere much deeper.
I've been feeling weird, I can't seem to focus good enough, nothing's really clear, sometimes it could be a little tough. I just need to feel like the end's in sight for me, but let's be really real, anxiety can foggy all this stuff. I've been feeling weird, I can't seem to focus good enough, nothing's really clear, sometimes it could be a little tough. I just need to feel like the end's in sight for me, but let's be really real, anxiety can foggy all this stuff. It sucks when you finally feel like giving up. Oh God, no luck, everything feels like you're sticky stuck. I'm lost, handcuffed to the bed where I sleep, don't give a fuck. Can't stop, unplug, feeling overwhelmed, I think I've had enough. Gotta find a way to get some energy, gotta find someone who's a good friend of me. I need purpose to make it all worth it, I'm still searching and I'm still learning.
Hello, everyone. How are you? I'm sorry I don't have my headphones on, so I'm sorry if my volume is high. So let's get into this because it has started already.
Days. The source of her health insurance was from her husband's employer. He was the employee. So when the funds ran out, his business accounts, the health insurance would no longer be available for her to treat the cancer that's going to be going treatment she needs for the next 18 months. That's the big part of it. We did tour the house on Sunday. I was there with my staff and saw the damage that was done and the mess that was left behind when the police did leave. The drain pipes were taken out of the bathroom. That little elbow piece, the traps were taken out of the bathroom sinks as well as the bathroom tubs, so you could not run any of the water. We had a cleanup crew come in with 20-yard dumpsters with 5 men and start removing debris that was left behind. As we speak, photos are being released to all of you through the internet, which you'll have digital photos of the damage that was there. I've also had the opportunity to view the so-called vault or the soundproof room in the basement. It is not a soundproof room. It is not a vault. It is a safe door about 6 foot high that is attached to 2x4s with an open ceiling in the basement like anybody's basement would be, unfinished inside. That's where the guns were allegedly stored. I also had the opportunity to view this doll that they made mention of by the prosecution or the police department. It's a collectible doll, and again, at some point in time, you have a photo of that Asa has collected for many, many years. It was in a wooden glass case that was there. Again, Asa would like me to express her thanks for the support she's received. She's going through a very difficult time emotionally. She's recovering each day, not only dealing with the cancer, but this newfound life that she has to come to terms with to protect herself and her children. The attorney for the children is here, Mr. Vespatev. I'd like him to say a few words.
Thank you all very much for coming. As you know, my firm represents the 2 children, Victoria and Christopher. They'd also like to say thank you to the public that's come out, the donations, the people that have sent care packages, the people that have sent money, the people that have stopped by and given them well wishes. And we've spoken, I think, in the press for the last few days about why and how it's so important that this family has competent and capable legal representation. And Mr. Macedonio and his firm and my firm, obviously, we're going to keep doing that because they have, as we've said before, rights and liberties that need to be protected. Okay, they all have that. ASA has that. The children have that. As this investigation continues, obviously the district attorney's office is releasing new information every day. It's going to be a very long process. So what they're asking you all to keep in mind that it's going to be a marathon. It's not a sprint. This is going to continue. This case is going to be a very long time in the making. And through that process, obviously, we've talked about in the past few days that the law requires them, in order to preserve those legal rights and remedies, to file certain legal documents at certain intervals. If they don't do that, they will have waived those rights in the public forum. So we are at this point announcing that the children and Ms. Ellerup, on her behalf, are going to be protecting those legal rights and remedies by filing what's called a notice of claim. That notice of claim is going to be filed within the next 30 days, and that obviously is a legal prerequisite to filing a lawsuit, and it has to be done because otherwise those rights are waived. And that's what's going to happen. When it happens, obviously we'll let you all know, we'll let you folks know what the content of it is, but that's the announcement that we have to make. In closing, I'd like to echo my colleagues' statements. At this time, the family again requests truly and honestly that their rights and liberties have to be protected. And a part of that, again, is that their focus is on their basic needs, their food, their water, their shelter, their clothing, okay? And that's their paramount concern right now. It is those basic human needs that all of us have that have been ripped apart from them. So we ask you again, please respect their privacy. Please know that they're going through a horrific emotional time that none of us could imagine, and let the legal process run its course. Thank you. It's Vess, V-E-S-S. Last name is Mitev, M-I-T-E-V. Again, that will be set forth in the notice of claim, but clearly it's going to be preserving the rights against law enforcement investigations and officials and investigators that were present at the scene. That's standard. Again, I wouldn't ask that you read into it too much, but that notice of claim is going to be filed. It's a legal prerequisite to filing a lawsuit, which they have to file in order to preserve their rights. Thank you.
Was the Nassau County Police Department involved in wrecking the house?
At this point in time, we're not sure what law enforcement were involved in actually entering the premises and which were involved with securing the streets and that. So we'll file the notice of claim. It'll probably list all the agencies. And then once the investigation's done, we'll narrow it down and see if there's any kind of lawsuit that can be proceeded after that. It was piled floor to ceiling with debris that was just taken out of the attics of every closet, every inch of the house. There was a path probably a foot or two wide to get from the front door to the kitchen, and that was the way through the house. The children and Asa were sleeping on really foam mats on the floor next to the dog bed where the dog was sleeping also. In addition, I forgot to mention, there was 3 cats that were taken when the police executed the search warrant, taken to the animal shelter, local town of Oyster Bay animal shelter, which was going to euthanize them if they were not picked up by a certain time. We had those cats removed, voluntarily transported out to the Bayou, West Hampton, and they're going to be maintained there until they're adopted out by loving families. The only thing his family knows about these charges is what's been reported in the media. They have not discussed it with him. They haven't addressed it with him, and that's our instructions in them now. We haven't had that conversation. Frankly, it doesn't matter. I need to get Asa back to being mentally healthy, to protect herself and her own children. She has to prepare this for at least the next couple of years before this case is litigated in the courts. She has not visited him in the jail. No, they have not. We have not been contacted. That was prior to our representation if it happened, and we have not been consulted or contacted by law enforcement. And let me reiterate, Asa or the children are not suspects in this. I think the DA's office and the law enforcement has made that clear. They've stated on several occasions they were out of the jurisdiction when these alleged crimes took place. So she is not a suspect. She's not been questioned. She's not been accused of anything, of being an accomplice or any part associated with whatever her husband's accused of.
Mr. Macedonia, in light of the fact that Suffolk County has proven to frame people, do you think there's any possibility that Rex Heuermann has been framed?
Sir, I'm not even going to address that. I'm not the law enforcement. I trust they're going to do their job diligently and professionally. So
I don't. Just admitted they're lying.
Mr. Macedonia, how do you explain your client not having any knowledge of what was going on?
Okay, you're assuming that all the allegations are true. So if the assumption of your question are true, he lived a complete double life. One of the photos that was released to you that you'll have momentarily will show the house at Christmas time with a Christmas tree and stockings hung by the fireplace at the alleged same time he's alleged to have gone out and committed these serial murders and buried the girls up in Gilgo. So if it happened, it was a complete double life. I assure you, she knew nothing about it. They have been released already. You should have them. Your agency should all have them. They were sent out.
You were talking about the pipes that have been taken out, or they're sleeping on the floor,
Yes.
basically. Is there running water in the home?
The water is running, but the drain pipes do the water. The sink just drops down and goes right down to the basement. There's no, but the plumbing has been repaired. The sink's been repaired. We're working on the tub as we speak. I have not spoken. Not at all.
Are there any appointments made?
No.
To meet with them for
No.
any sort of evidence collection or anything else?
No.
If there was, would they be reaching out?
They have not reached out to us, so I can't assume what they would be doing. I'm sure they're running a professional investigation. I understand the grand jury is still impaneled, so that's their function, and we have not been reached out by them at all.
Have you talked to us about the fact that DNA was at the pharmacy? Do you have any?
Well, I think it's what's been said. They say a hair of her likeness was at the crime scene. I don't think they said DNA of hers was at the crime scene. So we
Potentially they said her hair.
of her likeness of hair. So I don't think the DNA has been proven to be hers at the crime scene.
Have you talked to her husband on the phone?
Sure.
We talked about how doing and she dealt with cancer. Can you talk a little bit about how Victoria and Christopher are handling all of this?
Sure. Before that, I just want to piggyback off something Mr. Macedonia just said, and this goes back to 2 days, but this DNA order that was cut, okay, that's a very standard order in any kind of criminal prosecution. This was a order that was going to be granted no matter what, okay? Anytime you have a case involving DNA evidence, a buccal swab is quite standard. That state of, the laws of the state of New York are that you can be required, subject to your constitutional limitations, to provide what's called non-testimonial evidence, hair, materials, DNA. So that order was completely pro forma. I understand it was reported in the media as this groundbreaking, earth-shaking moment in the case, but it's not. It gets cut in every case, and if it wasn't ordered, it would have been immediately created an appealable issue. So back to your question. Obviously, they're as we've said before, every moment that they spend in this waking, surreal nightmare, they have to keep reevaluating where they are. Okay, their valuables were shattered, their beds were destroyed, the places that they laid their heads down at night no longer exist. The reason that they spend so much time outside and why you folks photographed them on the porch is because they can't be inside. The house is in shambles. It's ransacked. It was run over through roughshod. Okay, so it's not as if they don't want to be inside their house, but the conditions inside are deplorable, and they were left in a deplorable condition. So how are they doing? Again, we go back to what we need as humans. We need food, water, clothing, shelter, a roof over our heads, a place to lay our heads down at night. All of those things they were deprived of summarily, without any warning, and every day that goes by, again, kindness of strangers, and we appreciate that, they help get back a little bit of normalcy. But it's not going to be enough today. It's not going to be enough tomorrow. It's not going to be enough for years. So in order to piece back what's been crumbled into a million times, and they need all that, and that's what humans need.
A murder case of multiple victims. Is now the appropriate time to talk about the condition of Heuermann's house?
It's absolutely the appropriate time to talk about the condition of Heuermann's house and children. Again, they're innocent bystanders in this. And that's, again, we cannot stress that enough because of what has happened here, and it's of unimaginable magnitude. They're caught up in this. They're victims just as much. They disagree, or you might, consider that there were horrific things that are alleged to have been happened, but an allegation and a conviction are quantum leaps apart. So yes, they are victims, and yes, they are innocent bystanders, and yes, their lives have been completely upended and turned upside down.
Relationship between the children and the rats, were they close? Did they happen to take any family vacations? And if so, where did they go?
Again, I appreciate the question, and we thank you for it. We're not here to talk about that today. We're here to give you an update, disseminate some new photos, which I think will give you a better idea. A picture's worth 1,000 words, obviously, as to what the house was, what their life was like. It's contained in those pictures as well, but we're not going to talk about that. And obviously to announce that we are going to be exercising their legal rights and remedies by filing the notices of claim. Thank you.
Sorry, you cannot call the jail. The jails have to be outgoing only from the jail. So there's no. They're spoken over the phone. Yeah, like I've stated All those jail calls are recorded, so we've instructed her, and I'm sure his attorneys instructed him not to discuss the facts of the case. It just doesn't benefit either party.
So he's called her.
That's the only way the call could happen.
Has Officer Ellerup explained to you a reason for filing for divorce?
Of course, I discussed that with her, and at some point in time, she'll make a statement on why she feels it was appropriate to do that.
Did you any attorney John Ray represents some of the victims connected to the he's saying that seller should be treated as a suspect?
Okay, Johnny Ray is trying to keep himself relevant in this case. He has a victim, and he's been on TV for the last 10 years trying to get any kind of press he can on this and make himself relevant in this case. I can assure you, Asa Ellerup and her two children are not suspects in this case. They shouldn't be suspects in this case. I wholeheartedly trust the DA's investigation that eliminated them. So I don't know what Johnny Ray's purpose is in doing that, but like I said, trying to keep himself relevant in this matter.
I know you said that they're not suspects in this case, but what can you say about how they're assisting in the investigation?
They're not assisting at all. We've never been contacted.
Is there any desire to do that? So also, if you're not suspect, would they want to go above and beyond to help?
Again, if this happened, it was a complete double life. They have no information to provide. But again, they're not suspects. They haven't been questioned. I do not believe they have any relevant information, or they would have been questioned already and called into the grand jury.
They have nothing to offer investigation.
Complete double life.
We want to ask about the notice display. Her husband has told his lawyer he didn't do this.
We haven't gotten to that discussion. We don't know what he told his lawyer. Like again, she hasn't had that conversation with him, and we instructed her not to.
Want to go back to the notice of claim for a second?
Yeah, she has not even asked him. We told her to ignore all that, ignore the media reports, things that are reported in the media. A soundproof room. Everybody reported that. That is not true. So everybody ran with that story that he had this sex dungeon downstairs in his house with a soundproof room where he was bringing prostitutes and murdering them and then burying them on Gilgo Beach. There is no soundproof room in that house. So we cannot believe everything that's been reported in the media. We've told her that and instructed her that to get herself mentally healthy, and then so she could be there for her children who are suffering through this.
The notice of claim, what are the grounds for that? Can you tell us what you're going to be alleging in that?
There are certain rights that they have to protect within a 90-day period for notice of claim, the property damage that was done. If you don't file that notice of claim within 90 days, you lose the right to pursue it at a later date. So we're just going to protect those. It's just going to protect those rights, and that's it. Whether or not a lawsuit will be pursued will be addressed later on. But you have to file a notice of claim within the 90-day period, or you waive it. Okay? No, I do not. Okay?
In your opinion, has the civil rights of this town been violated?
If my opinion, I didn't think they were, we would not be filing a notice of claim. Okay? Thank you.
When were they married?
I don't know the exact date of marriage. 96? Okay.
How did she lawyer up with you so quick? Who recommended you? Did you call her or did she call you?
This has been breaking news.
Hello, everyone. I'm back. That was very short. It makes so hard on me to report stuff. Yes, I wanted to go look that up when he said that because media has said that. And I want to make sure that it's not on any court documents because I don't know if that lawyer is really right or not. Lawyers lie so much you don't know when they're telling the truth or when they're lying. But I don't know if anyone here watching or anyone here if anyone here watching lives in Texas, or if anyone in here watching the replay lives in Texas. I saw this video this morning, and I know me living in the desert, Texas, Louisiana, and all these southern states are over 100 degrees. 3 my time, 5 central, 6 eastern. I did it earlier because of the body cam footage. I just want to make sure that I don't run over, into Lost Souls Live. But no back on my PS. So I wanted to go back and see if they stated that in any court documents. And before I say there was or there wasn't a soundproof room, because everybody knows we read it somewhere. But I wanted to play this very short video for you guys that kind of explains why the heat is so bad right now. It's like a minute something long, I think. Let's see. Go back, sir.
Weather patterns all over the world and changes every few years. Let's talk about El Nino and La Nina. The El Nino La Nina cycle is driven by winds over the Pacific Ocean. In a normal year, trade winds blow lightly from east to west near the equator, carrying warm water toward Indonesia and Australia, while the water near South America is cooler. Under La Nina conditions, these winds get stronger, sloshing the warm water on the ocean surface westward, like a big bathtub. This warm water evaporates more moisture into the atmosphere, causing dangerous flooding in Australia. As warm water moves off the coast of South America, cold water from the deeper ocean takes its place. This nutrient-rich cold water actually means big business for fishermen. That same colder water close to the southwestern United States leaves Texas drier and drives the path storms travel along northward. An El Nino pattern is the total opposite.
Hey, why do them fish have bandanas or something over their mouth? Is that what that is? I mean, not the fish, the raindrop.
Trade winds near the equator lighten or even switch directions, sloshing the warm water eastward. The warm water close to Texas, that brings the path storms travel along southward, supercharging storms with more rainfall. The El Nino La Nina cycle takes place every 3 to 7 years. La Nina often leads to bad droughts in Texas, and El Nino, serious floods. Storm, causing little droplets of water inside of the cloud to bump into each other and grow. Let's take a look at how they form. When a thunderstorm is growing, the updraft pumps air into the storm, causing little droplets of water inside of the cloud to bump into each other and grow. This forms raindrops, or up high where it's colder, hailstones. All that water and ice up in the cloud eventually gets too heavy, so it drops to the ground. This area of sinking air is less than 2.5 miles wide, hence the micro in microburst. When it hits the ground, it has nowhere to go, so it spreads out and creates very strong winds that travel outward. This is called a wet microburst and is accompanied by really heavy rain and hail. A dry microburst forms a little differently. It involves the same 2.5 mile area of rain and hail forming up in the cloud, but as it starts to fall from the cloud, it falls through a layer of very dry air. This evaporates the rain and cools the air. Cool air is heavier.
Yo, is that what happens here with the dry air? Is that why we barely hardly ever get any rain here?
Than warm air, so it falls even faster to the ground. The area of cool, heavy air hits the ground and spreads out in all directions.
Okay, never mind. I will shut up now.
Again, causing damaging winds. Microbursts are really dangerous to airplanes because of the turbulence they create close to the ground. If a severe thunderstorm warning is issued for your area due to microburst winds, it's important to seek sturdy shelter.
When I was 27, I almost retired from the game of football.
Riddler, if you're watching the replay, I'm really playing this.
No sound. You're on mute.
Are you kidding?
Nope.
Going, Lady V, Lady V. And then I'm like, maybe she said be right back. So I check private chat and then I'm like, no. And I'm like, Lady V. Okay. So we know about the no soundproof room. I will look that up. I know y'all not gonna wait for me to look it up right now. And then the doll the doll. Um I want to see that doll because it was humongous. And why would they take it?
Yeah, I thought that was kind of weird. Unless, who knows?
And then I already told you in back chat about the reporters. I have never seen the reporters be so blah, disrespectful or whatever. And I feel like the lawyers handle it very well. You might disagree with me, but it's okay. We can all disagree to agree, and that's okay. My people in here are awesome. Thanks, guys, for hitting that thumbs up for me. I am so thankful for that. Then I want to talk about that house damage that he talked about.
Okay, how much of that was damage and how much of that was from before?
I really think it was damage because they tore that house up.
Well, yeah, but I
I'm
mean,
not talking about
somebody said it was
damages.
like a hoarder's house to begin with.
Well, it could have been, but if so, then I'm sure everything is just strewed around because they've gone through everything in the house. Not talking about damage to the structure itself, but just damage of going through like he said, there's 20 freaking big old dumpster things that they have. So
Good
I
Lord.
believe that they're a hoarder, but I also believe that law enforcement does not care when they're doing a search.
Oh, I
And
agree with that.
you know what I mean? So as far as that, I don't know. People, leave this family alone. This wife and their two children deserve none of this. They did none of this. They were not in the country or the state when this happened. Leave them alone, dude. They have to go through life knowing what this man did for so long and not knowing anything. Now they have to build, their life back and their home back.
And that's
And
just so true of, I mean, almost every SK, I mean, they're really good at compartmentalizing and leading a double or triple life, you know?
the fact that she probably had um no clue, because it was done when she was either out of the country because she is from a different country. I don't remember. But yeah, so there was no red flag for her, in my opinion, because
I
she wasn't
agree.
around when it happened. So, and then he drops them off, at the beach. And so she has no inkling of anything happening. Know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't
And
know.
that's the case in so many of these. That's just the family has no idea.
Yep. And I said before that they have not visited him in jail. However, an article or video that I played before said that she talks to him on the phone, I think, but didn't know if she wanted to visit him.
Right. I heard
So,
that.
yeah, and today he just verified that she has not made a decision on going to see him or not. But you know what? She's dying inside, you guys. I don't ever want to say I understand what she's going through, ever. But it is what it is.
Yeah,
Just
I
leave
can't
the family
imagine
alone, guys.
the emotional feelings she's dealing with. It's just got to be crazy.
And then she has to be strong for her children and has to be strong for herself. That's
Right.
also hard. It's just sad situation all around. I just think this press conference was crap. 10
I
minutes.
agree.
What did we learn in the 10 minutes? Nothing that we didn't already know. I was waiting for these pictures, you guys. Where are these pictures? He said.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to see.
I was waiting for the dang on pictures. I'm gonna have to see if I can find them for you guys. So I am going live in a couple of hours with Alexi Treviso, her arrest affidavit, and some body cam footage in case anyone hasn't seen it yet.
She's the
So
one with the baby in the hospital.
yes, girl. Oh yes, you should see my PowerPoint presentation, yo. I think it's
You
for
know,
the
you're
situation. It's not funny, but just because she is shitty, it's I don't know.
yeah, I get it.
And the
You're doing
mom.
really, really well on those PowerPoints.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Lady
I
V. I
used to
really
run PowerPoint um, at my church for years and years, and it can be a little tricky. And you're doing really well.
I can't lie to you. Every day I do a presentation, I curse the whole time because it is like it's
It
so
can be tricky.
tedious
Yeah.
and yeah. I'm just like cursing the whole time. Anybody walk past the room, hear me cursing, it's okay. I'm just doing a PowerPoint presentation. It's quite
Uh,
okay.
you'll
All
get
right,
better.
guys. So yeah, it'll be okay. Hey, I learned. I taught myself how to do it. Avery helped me a little bit, over Messenger, but I did it and sent it to her, and she was like, "You just like taught yourself how to do it." But anyway, y'all have a good couple of hours. I will be back in a couple of hours talking about this girl. I
Okay,
won't call
honey.
her a woman, even though she's 19. Hi, guys. Sadie, thank you so much for coming up.
All right. Love you, babe.
And I hope you can make it at the next one. But everybody, I will see you